So this is my weekly report for June 15th. So first I'm going to tell you guys what I did this week. I went to San Francisco Bay halibut fishing, and I want to thank Right Hook J Lopes for kind of tipping me on, let me know where the action is. And then I went to Stampede and caught some nice kokanee up there. But first of all, I'll talk about what's going on in the area. But that's what I did, and then when we get into this report, I'll talk a little bit more about it. But right now, halibut fishing and striper fishing in the bay has been crazy off the hook. A lot of stripers are returning now, and they're showing up in the bay. They're catching a lot of them. A lot of the halibut moved out of the South Bay, and they're into the main bay now. So you want to fish around Alcatraz, you want to fish around Angel Island, in those areas. That's where the bigger halibut are hanging out. And we had one the other day, probably pushing 16 to 18 pounds. But they're pretty nice fish. And we were just drifting live anchovies, using a 3-way with a dropper, and you want to use about a 4 to 6 foot leader, and probably use a circle hook, so you don't have to. There's 2 ways. You could actually use a circle hook and just drift it and wait till the rod loads, or you could use what I did. I used a size 1/0 octopus with a small treble hook as a trailer, and then when I felt them bite, I'd feed them a little line and then set the hook. But the halibut, the stripers are in the same area. There's times when you get into school stripers and it's just crazy off the hook. A lot of fish in there. And the ones I saw and caught, they were probably around 20 inches to maybe 6-7 pounds. But there is schools of larger fish out there in the South Bay. A couple weeks ago, they were catching really nice ones up to 20 pounds. They got to be in that transition. They're somewhere around there. But we were targeting halibut. We weren't going after stripers. And the halibut seemed to be in that 30 to 55 feet of water. So that's basically what's going on there. And Jay's the guy to hook up if you want to trip down there, or Ricky Acosta, he's another guy that's got his boat down there now. So those are 2 guys that probably could be able to put you on a fish. So coming on in, they're still catching some sturgeon, probably around the Pittsburgh Martinez area. There's always your juvenile ones that keeper fish up to like maybe 50 pounds that hang around there that don't go up the river to spawn, but they are still catching them. And also on the river, there's a lot of shad in the system now. They're catching them everywhere. The river's cleaned up a lot, so you could basically graft them and go catch them. You could use shad darts, or you could use a 1.5 inch grub. Chartreuse has been working better lately. Some of the hot areas are Freeport, the mouth of America, and the mouth of the Feather. But there should be shad everywhere. So, if you guys are wanting to catch shad, that'd be a good time to go do it right now. Also in the Sac River, there's a lot of stripers that are returning. They're coming back down from Calusa and Gridley up there, and they don't stick around. So I would probably try areas where there's a bend, like at Hood, Cortland, Walnut Grove, and throw jerk baits, throw rip baits in the evening time, and when you get into them, you'll have a ball. But they are returning now, and they don't hang around, so you might get them for a day or 2, and then vamos, they're gone. So that's still happening really good around here. A lot of things, like I said, I was up at Berryessa a couple days ago, or actually yesterday, and it's foggier than heck, and we went out, and the fish are in that 30 foot down to maybe 50, but they seem to be right out from the boat ramp and to the left a little, and they're pretty plentiful, and they're getting bigger. I've been going there every week, and they're 14 to 16 inches. You'll catch a lot of little ones, but I always dump them back and then just wait and go through and catch the bigger ones. They've been liking the watermelon dodger with the pink hoochie, and then when in the morning and then in the afternoon we switched over to purple and blue. That seemed to work really good the other day. but caught a lot of fish. Remember, you got to put that shoe peg corn on the back of that hook if you want to catch any. So other things about kokanee fishing, you could go to New Melones. I got friends that have been going there. It's been kind of a little bit on the slower side. It's hard to get a limit for two guys. John, who's a good friend of mine, went up there. He's been getting like 7 or 8 for two guys. Just a little bit shy of a limit, but he's been getting them up to 18 inches. So the fish are bigger there, but they're less, and you have to work harder for them. Buller's Bar is the easiest place to go if you want. The limit's 10 there, and you know, it's pretty simple. Just troll right out in front of the narrows where the river is, and over there they seem to be in that 35 to 55 feet of water. And all these places you could throw like a 4 or 5 inch dodger, use a short setback. I did a video quite a while ago, but I got another one coming out we shot the other day. It should be out here pretty soon. Like I told you guys last week, when I was out there, I was in a friend's boat and it was hot. So we changed it, put braided line on the downriggers, and yesterday we had no problem. Grabbed a lot of fish and we saw them, we actually caught them. Other places been going on, Big Nate's been going to Berryessa and Pardee. He snuck up to Pardee, and I saw his report. He didn't catch a lot of kokanee, but he caught a lot of trout, and he's been catching some big browns. So, you know, those are some places. Berryessa, if you guys want to go get some landlocked kings, a friend of mine, Kevin Fogel's been killing them there. He had 17 the other day, and one of them looked like it was probably pushing 10 pounds. But he's been catching a lot of them over there, and he's rolling shad and trolling white hoochies. So some of the lakes, I mean, right now, since we got all this water, it seems like the fishing's been really decent anywhere you go. Also at Berryessa, Don Paganelli's been catching a lot of bass at Folsom, Berryessa. You know, if you're looking to go do some bass fishing and want to learn how to do it, he's the guy to get a hold of. I did a video a couple weeks ago. It's called Bustin' Bass. You got to watch it because I use the birds over there. I saw them and we just had a ball. And you could actually see those 3 to 4 pound fish in schools of like 5 to 10. Chased my bait all the way to the boat. Even one cast I had 4 fish on the same cast. It's just crazy. Then I went up there the week later and I saw all these birds pushing the bait in there, and I always, my first choice, I always pick up a spoon, because when you're chasing those birds you can't hardly keep up with them. And I could cast the spoon further, so I cast the spoon, I hooked a fish, it came off, hooked another one, came off, and then hooked another one, and I was yelling at Denise to get the net. I think I got a big one, and when it came up, lo and behold, I got a grieve. It was a bird. He hit my spoon. But the fish in there is pretty good, so you could catch them drop shotting. I'm sure you could catch them jerk baits, you could catch them doing a lot of different things. The bite's just on over there. Folsom's also been good. Guys at the shop been going, and they've been catching them on Cincos. If the wind's blowing, I would put a spinnerbait on, a rip bait. And they're concentrating mainly on the main peninsula area, around the main area around the main peninsula, on the north and the south side. So the other things going on, like I said, you could probably go and catch any kind of fish you want to go right now. The delta for bass seems a little bit tough. I was there last week and did real well, but I'm way up north. The Central Delta, you know, talking to guys over there, it's been kind of on and off. One day you'll go, you'll cream them, and then the next day you go, it's slow. The thing about up north, I don't have a lot of pressure there, and I've been doing real well there this whole year because of such high water. And Future Pro had a tournament last weekend, and a couple of buddies of mine asked me if I would take their kids and show them how to catch fish. So Luke, who's only 8 years old, he won his division. He ended up catching 4 decent fish. And the hummingbird, our hummingbird Minn Kota rep, Len Vincey's son Ryan, he came in second, and he's 16 years old, so he's fishing in the teenager group. So both both kids did really well up there, and both of them could have won if they put the right fish that they hooked in the boat. But the bass fishing, you know, don't give up. It's really good. A lot of these fish are not spawned yet, this is already June, and it's crazy. They should be all done, but they're not. This is a weird year, and you know, talking to a lot of guys down in the Delta is some guys are struggling like crazy, and you know, some guys are doing well. If you watch the tournament results, always look in the middle of the pack, and if you see weights at like 6 and 8 pounds in the middle of the pack, you know it's slow out there. Also, you know, guys, every Saturday morning at 11:40, I'm on the Seps radio show on the AM dial on 11:40, and I'm on there with Kent and Sep, and you know, we're talking with the guides and any of the new reports, you know, from now to then, you know, I'll give it a shout on the radio. Anyway, thanks for watching, and hit that like button, and please subscribe because it'll help my channel a lot. If you want, leave me a comment on the bottom there, and I'll get back with you within a couple days. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the water.